Okay, so I wanted to share a testimony. I heard this back in LA from a friend that I made while I was back there. And I apologize for being so grubby. I had a pretty bad insulin reaction today. But I wanted to get this down, and I figured doing it on video was a little bit better than just typing it out. And I'll see if I can tell this story without breaking into tears. I heard this story from a friend, and this was a story that he knew. I don't know if it was a friend of his or if he had heard it secondhand, but I'm going to repeat the story how I heard it. And for those of you who want to see Sean in his kilt, that's what I look like. So anyway, this video testimony, or this testimony, the story that I heard about a young couple in the States, and they believed that the Lord was calling them to go and minister to the remote Amazon. So they sold off everything and moved down to the remote Amazon and set up down there, and they're there for months on end, and nobody's coming around except this little boy. He was 5 or 6, and they taught him the Word, and they just kept praying, Lord, is this really what you want us doing? There doesn't seem to be anybody coming around. They were really questioning whether or not they were following the Lord's desire. And months went on, and still nobody came around but this little boy, and they kept teaching him the Word. And eventually the young wife became pregnant, and throughout the term of her pregnancy they were still teaching this boy, and nobody was coming around, and they continued to question the Lord. So finally she came to give birth, and she ended up dying in childbirth. At that point, the husband took the child to the missionary headquarters, turned the child over, and he said, I can't do this. He came back to the States, and he fell into alcoholism and lost himself. 20 years later, this young child grew up to be a young lady, and she felt like the Lord was calling her to come to the U.S. and find her father, which she did. She convinced him to come to a local church where there was a missionary from where he was at, down in the Amazon, giving a speech that night. So he did. And there's a young man up there talking about the thousands of people coming to Christ on a daily basis in this ministry that he's been involved in for years. And he tells a story about when he was a young boy. This young couple taught him the Word, and the wife died in childbirth, and the husband disappeared, and he didn't know what happened to him. So I just reflect on that story. I know there's times where it just seems like the Lord, it just seems like we question the Lord. I question the Lord all the time. Lord, is this really what you want me doing? But I trust that if I'm keeping my ears open to His Word and His voice, that it is Him speaking. And I just hope that this story can encourage others. That's all for now. God bless.